Good evening from Trenton, Michigan, and the MIHL Showcase Night 2 for your East Grand Rapids Pioneers features them against the St. Edward Eagles from Cleveland, Ohio. Good evening, I'm Matt Gajtka, coming to you high above the Feldman Arena at the Kennedy Recreation Center. East Grand Rapids yesterday suffered their first loss in 5 games. They fell 5-2 to the Heartland Eagles, so a couple of matchups against the Eagles. 2 different species of Eagles, 2 varieties this weekend. Heartland, though, well, no shame in falling to them, as Heartland is number 2 in Division 1 currently ranked, and they are 19-1-1 on the season after yesterday's victory. But even though the Pioneers don't want to settle for less, they can split their weekend with a victory tonight, like I mentioned, against St. Ed, which played local power Brother Rice last night and lost 4-2. Giving up 3 in a row after tying at 1-1 early in the second period. A little more on St. Ed's. They're the 11-time state champs in Ohio. Their most recent championship, though, came back in 2008. Mike Rupp of the Devils, the Rangers, the Penguins, and the NHL. He's an alumnus of the high school, and they're located in the Cleveland suburb of Lakewood, Ohio. They're coached by 1992 St. Ed grad Tim Sullivan, and they're currently ranked 7th in the Ohio State rankings, according to myhockeyrankings.com. Your Pioneers, even after yesterday's defeat, are 14-4-1. They did finish first place in the Rue Division in the OK Conference, so they will be taking on Jenison, who was the 4th place team in the Fisher Division in the upcoming OK Conference tournament opener on Tuesday at Griff's Georgetown. We'll have that broadcast for you on the channel as well. But East, even though with the loss yesterday, they still have been outscoring their opponents by more than a 2-to-1 ratio on the season. 80 goals for, 33 against. Prior to last night, they had won 3 consecutive games by identical 6-to-1 scores. So they were rolling, and they're going to try to get back on a roll in their gold alternate jerseys this evening. We were scheduled to start for 6 o'clock. The previous game between Livonia Stevenson and St. Ignatius from Toledo, Ohio, went a little bit long. So we're getting rolling later than we thought, but still plenty of excitement for what is always an exciting weekend for everybody involved. Whenever you make it down here, or even if you're from the Detroit area, you love to strut your stuff and show off what you can do against some of the best teams in the state, and also, as we're finding out tonight, out of state as well. Also, one more tidbit on East Grand Rapids. They are now 8th in the Michigan Hockey Hub Super 10 rankings. That's factoring in all 3 divisions, and they are 2nd in D3. So a lot of folks from down in this neck of the woods wanted to see what East Grand Rapids could bring to the table this weekend. Good competitive matchup against the high-powered Heartland Eagles yesterday, and now they get to match glares with the St. Ed Eagles in green and gold. Goaltender is Charlie Finch at one end. At the other end is Hunter Mayville. So freshman against senior is your goaltending matchup, and we are off and rolling from Feldman Arena. Bjornsson sends it in deep. Bryce Bjornsson had a 2-game goal streak cut short last night. He had scored 4 in his previous 2. And now St. Ed's driving it up into the attacking zone. Carter Smithfellow's shot, and gloved and kept by Charlie Finch. No further play, just 19 seconds into this one. So I mentioned East has a game on Tuesday coming up against Jenison. They're guaranteed 3 games in the tournament, regardless of how many wins or losses they accumulate. They'll also play Friday and Saturday. All those games will be at Griff's Georgetown, first of its kind OK Conference tournament. The faceoff one back to Carter Smith. Thought about a shot, but Brady Ross, who scored both goals last night, confronted him and forced the play around the boards. Farron out high for the Eagles, coughed it up, and the Pioneers' Albers, the captain, run off, but Oliver Owen takes it right back and speeds it across to Owen Stropke, who couldn't clear. He was run into at the blue line by Kotsanis. Up to the near side, Owen, backhand feed in front of the Pioneers bench. Albers has some room to skate. James Albers pulling up in the slot, shot at save made. First stop of the night by Mayville. I have no stats on St. Ed, so use your imagination. As it's Goosens, the defenseman, rifling it wide from 50 feet away. Stepping up the boards, Ethan Brinker had 3 assists against Forest Hills Northern last Friday, setting a career high for points and assists in a game for that matter. to the far point, and Brinker had it poked past him by Colin Libby. And rung around the horn by East Grand Rapids, stopping it behind his net, Mayville. On the near side boards, Blaskovic lost control. Trevor Bird tried to poke it on net, and it deflects to the far side and lifted down the ice. No icing, ruled that it was touched by Goosens apparently. Jake Goosens, I mean. Now it's Caden Goosens, the other twin, the defenseman. Knocks it around the wood. Jake Goosen bunts it back down behind the goal. Brinker lifts it on his backhand side. 2 minutes into the game. One shot apiece. Nothing on the board yet. East Grand Rapids hunting win number 15 on the season. They ended up with 20 last regular season. They'd have to win out to get to that total. Huge check on the far side. Cooper Rowan sent for a ride by Kenny Sesko. And the snapshot from the neutral zone by Libby right into the glove of Finch. And he holds for the stoppage in play. East Grand Rapids coached by Chris Newton, the seventh-year bench boss, with a record of 107, 63, and 6 in his career at East Grand Rapids. He's from the east side of the state, so back in familiar territory. Whithill, the freshman D, controls, but not before a penalty is called, and Bennett Winkle looks upset. I think it's against him. An early power play upcoming for St. Edward. Interference. Essentially a pick play called against Winkle with 14:40 to go in the first period. It's funny, I called Catholic Central's game earlier today against the M1 Unified Griffins, and we didn't have a power play until midway through the third period, and then we had a counteracting penalty the other way. So neither team had a full power play in the game, just 1 minute of power play time each, essentially. Fed through to center. Brady Ross down to a knee. Gets back up. Ross nearly deep to his forehand, but he's shielded off nicely, and the Eagles come back with it. Turning toward the front of the net, Carter Smith. His shot goes wide into the far corner. Plucked off the boards by Leo D'Angelo, who walks the line. He shoots, and it's deflected wide from the slot, and Stropke softly clears down the far wing, 200 feet. Winkle in the box for interference. St. Ed on its first power play of the day. Errant pass. Brinker hops on top of that, and he'll gladly clear again. 1:16 left on the penalty. Picked up by Oliver Owen. He backhands it free back into his own end, and Goosens on it. Caden Goosens lifts it right over the head of Andrew Gray, and out to center it goes, back down into Eagles territory. Carson Merriweather winds it up for St. Ed. His lead pass, though, away from everybody in green, and that's icing with 55 seconds remaining on the power play. With the 2 goals yesterday, Brady Ross moved to 13 on the season, second most on the team. 26 for his career. And also 32 points on the season. He's now the Pioneers' leading point man. 1 ahead of Owen and 4 ahead of Albers. All of them line mates for most of this season. Twisting back away from pressure, Woody Wright, freshman forward for St. Ed. Up the middle, Merriweather had the puck lodged in his skates, and it's taken away by Wright, his own man, who pulls it back to the near side flank. Spun down as he fell, caught an edge, but he still managed to force it over to Blaskovic, who dumped in deep. Half a minute to go on the power play. Winkle in the box for East Grand Rapids. Schramko to the front of the net, and it zips right by everybody. Scanlon. Owen Scanlon down the boards, or excuse me, that was Kenny Sesko, rather, coughed it up to the Pioneers, and Nolan Brooks gets the clear. Brooks putting the pressure on, shorthanded. The pass clicks off an Eagles stick, back to Whithill, now with 2 goals on the year, matching Stropke for the most from a Pioneers blue liner. Power play's over. Winkle escapes from the penalty box. 12:35 remaining in the first period. A goalless first period so far. Hill, the quick touch to Stropke, his defense partner, up the far boards. Sesko overskated for the Eagles, and it's back into the clutches of Hill. Whitaker Hill lofts it far side. Icing is called by the linesman on the near side as the puck drifted down over the goal line. Yesterday's loss was the first for the Pioneers in 4 neutral site games this year, so there's that from the Department of Obscure Minutia. They previously had beaten Houghton, Bay Reps, and Sault Ste. Marie in neutral site games. But Heartland took down the Pioneers last night. I'm sorry to miss that one. That was a big showdown between a couple of highly ranked teams in the state. Owen pulls in the deflected lead man pass, and he can't get by the defense, but it came loose for Albers, and he put it right on goal, and that was a sharp save from Mayville. That play came out of nowhere as the puck was just deflected into the path of Albers, and he quickly shoveled it on net. That's what goal scorers do. They take advantage of opportunities to get pucks online, and Albers did it again. Kotsanis, the pass behind his net, he'll have to take it again as it was rushed along to him by Shramko. Up the far side, lead feed off the stick of Leo Smith, and back in the possession of East Grand Rapids. The Pioneers' Caden Goosens to Brinker, to Owen, over to Brady Ross. A wired shot off the blocker of Mayville to the near corner. Brinker turns it away from pressure. Goosens up the middle with that pass. Rowan deflects it ahead, trying to get the forecheck going, but he couldn't get it by Woody Wright. And Wright slams it off the window. Down it goes off the kick plate, taken by the goaltender Charlie Finch. Pushed it along to Trevor Bird, coughed it up at the blue line, shot toward the front of the net by D'Angelo, didn't get through, and the rebound also blocked by Andrew Gray, or Gray's shot was blocked, excuse me. Wrister from D'Angelo, that didn't get through either. 3 block shots by the Pioneers on that offensive zone possession for St. Ed's. Bird had to look up. He was afraid maybe D'Angelo was lining him up for a hit, and the puck came loose. Sometimes you got to look out for your welfare in those situations. You don't want to be looking down for too long in the middle of the ice. Bjornsson lassos the loose puck. Clears up the far wall. Too far for Winkle, who got wiped out. Bjornsson punched it ahead. It's back to Winkle. Just inside the red line. Winkle trying to matriculate the puck into the attacking zone, and it does drift in there, but back over to Libby, and Libby finds Smith, who curls back to create some space. Libby takes the lead feed. Long distance shot, easy save for Finch, and he holds with a little snow spray coming from Libby with 10:11 to go in the first period. This is the MIHL Showcase Day 3. We had several teams, mostly local, play on Thursday. All teams that could make it here and then get back for school on Friday, I presume. And then yesterday, East got it going at 4 o'clock against Heartland. Players tie up on the scrum after the face-off. Punched free to Brinker in front of his own net. Cradling and protecting and feeding up the wing. One touch by Bjornsson, but turned over. Blaskovic gave it right back to East. Here's an opportunity for Nolan Brooks, who's had a nice breakout season. To the point and shoveled down the wall on his backhand by Caden Goosens, but Bjornsson couldn't make anything happen. Nolan Brooks, 16 points on the year. He had 12 in his previous 2 varsity seasons. Or pardon me, just the previous 1 varsity season, excuse me, for Brooks. He's already well ahead of last year's pace. Here he comes again, left it behind, and then he got checked to the ice by Eisnagel. Thrown toward the goal by Stropke, didn't make it all the way through. With 9:17 to go in the first period, free-flowing action continues 5-on-5. Eisnagel couldn't clear. Stropke cranked it back in on his backhand side. Merriweather takes it again for the green-clad Eagles. Headman delivery off the stick of Scanlon. Stropke pickpocketed him. And back to Merriweather's side of the ice in St. Ed's real estate. Merriweather plays catch with his defense partner. Flung off the wall by Stramko. Oh, and a helmet comes loose at center ice. Whitaker Hill ran right over Andrew Farron. Farron appears to be okay. Some smiles from either side. And both benches react, as you might imagine. Clean hit at center. Players coming together. And once the helmet comes off, play must halt in that situation. So the referees do their diligence. Looks like Farron's okay. Brinker back to take it. Easy for me to say. I'm just up here talking. Flung on to Cooper Rowan. Leo Smith takes over for the Eagles. Put right on goal from center ice, and Finch, maybe on a slight short hop, grabbed it. A lot of compliments yesterday for Charlie Finch from a couple of Heartland fans or parents or family members that I ran into today. I couldn't believe he was a freshman. He's been poised right from the drop of the puck. Starting with that win against Gabriel Richard back in mid-November. Smith tried to turn one toward the net. The Pioneers put up the picket fence, blocked that to the far wall. 8:14 left in the first period. To the point, drifted on goal. Finch the save on the shot from Sesko. And he stops the music. 8:08 left in the first. So East Grand Rapids has added a game. They could because their game against Forest Hill Central was canceled 2 weeks ago. They will play their senior night game on Valentine's Day, the 14th, against Big Rapids, who was their first-round regional foe last year. Rifled up onto the deflection into the rafters, and so we'll do it again. Same dot for the face-off. The Big Rapids Cardinals will be the final opponent of the 2024-25 regular season. Ross tried to skip it by the point man. Smith couldn't do it. He held it in, did Smith, and flung right to the front by Libby. Saved by Finch, and again, the puck stays right in front of him. No rebounds available to the Eagles, who were hard charging. Eisnagel among them. A couple of freshmen dressed and playing regularly for Tim Sullivan's St. Ed's Eagles. That would be Libby and Wright, both forwards. Of course, the Pioneers have a couple of freshmen who play regularly. The goaltender, Finch. Also, Whithill and Trevor Bird. Hill, the defenseman, Bird, the forward. Icing upcoming against St. Ed's, and so that'll drag the face-off back down to the left. Porter Brooks, also a freshman, playing D for East, so no better way to get better than to get thrown into the fire. Rowan takes the draw and went right by Jake Goosens. Regained by Schramko. Couldn't get it up the wall. The Pioneers closed off that avenue. And they hack and whack and poke and prod for the puck. And it is loose back behind the net. Possessed by D'Angelo. Headmans it off the stick of McDermott. Left behind. Scanlon takes it, shoots it. Low shot that was sticked out of play by Finch. So much for the free-flowing first period. Plenty of stoppages lately. We will have a full ice resurfacing after each period. Sometimes in these showcases, they just do one during each game, but not so here. Partially because they have two Zambonis at their disposal. They can throw out there. It's a first-class tournament, first-class facility. Bjornsson pulls the trigger, save by Mayville, and it skips away to the near side boards and out to neutral ice. Winkle in front of the penalty boxes, and a penalty is coming, and then Winkle was hit just after the whistle sounded by 10. I don't have a 10 on my roster, so I don't know who that is for St. Ed's. At any rate, a penalty is coming up against the boys from Ohio. Schramko pries open the penalty box. 2 minutes on the board. East gets a power play a little more than midway through period number 1. East has killed off a power play for St. Ed's. And off the scramble draw, it's controlled by the Nears. Owen works it back to Ross, playing center point, giving it to Owen, lines it up, fire, saved by Mayville, loose puck, poked toward the front of the net. It's under Mayville somewhere. No, it's in his glove, and he shows the referee. No one knew where it was except for Mayville. He was hanging on to it somehow. Boy, when the Pioneers get Owen moving downhill toward the net, duck and cover if you're the goalie. He made a good save there, did Mayville, to keep it out. Owen ladles it back to the point. Ross skids it across. Owen Back to Ross. He's got Albers to his right. Gives it to Owen again. Shooting, save Mayville. No rebound. 26 seconds into the power play. 6:22 left in the first period. East in pursuit of its first goal of the night. Ross pushes it forward, back below the goal line. Owen working hard. He's wiped out. D'Angelo trying to clear for St. Ed and does. And it's through to center. Winkle shields off his man but lost control of the puck. Trying to come toward the net, Andrew Gray. But Brooks did well to hound him from behind and force him to spin it back to center ice, where it's shot back behind the Pioneers' net and rattled back by Finch onto the blade of Ross. 1 minute to go on the power play. First of the night for East. Ross to the outside. Sharp angle chance and fought off by Mayville. Loose and cleared by the Eagles. And going off for a change was D'Angelo, and Finch has to hold it because right in his face was Blaskovic, number 26 in green. So that'll make things a little bit more difficult for EGR as they send another unit out there. It'll be Bird, Rowan, Jake Goosens, Caden Goosens, and Owen Stropke, the fivesome. Stropke takes and turns, holding off Blaskovic with one hand, but the puck loose to center, and again rifled right back down into Pioneers territory, this time by Libby. Blaskovic first on it. The Eagles working hard. Libby shot it, blocked in front of the net, off the body of Caden Goosens. 30 seconds left on this power play. So he's spending a little too much time in its own end for its liking, while up a man. Errant pass, Goosens, just really a misunderstanding there between him and his brother Jake as to who was going to take that pass. Wasn't that bad of a feed across. Stropke gains the line, dropped it off to Rowan. Back to Stropke in the corner to Rowan, and he mishandled at the blue line. He's got to skate back for it. The puck rolling a bit. Ice getting choppy late in the period. The power play about to run out. East is going to be 0 for 1. Merriweather, the senior D, returns it behind the net to Sesko and back to Merriweather. Eagles love to go D to D in their own end. I've noticed that so far. Behind their net, Brinker on it, waiting, draws a couple of defenders. Soft pass to Albers into his path. He left it behind. Ross pulled it off the wall, but one too many men to beat, and it's poked by him, taken over by Farron, who's run over by Ross. Porter Brooks lead pass. Owen, bump set for Albers. Driving wide on his off wing. Albers hooked as he went to the net. And that'll be another penalty against the Eagles. Delayed call. Finch belatedly comes to the bench, but no harm, no foul. The Pioneers surround the puck and drift back into their own end with it. Porter Brooks up ahead to Albers. Deflected pass. Regathered by the Eagles. And that'll trigger the whistle with 3:56 left in the first. Back-to-back penalty calls against St. Edward. And the referee having a brief chat, or the linesman having a brief chat with the St. Ed's coach. Boy, I love this vantage point. I feel like I'm on the ice in the game. I can hear all the conversations. Not every word, but you get a sense for what's going on. Penalty against Kenny Sesko. 3:55 to go in the first. And again, the Pioneers control the draw. Setting it up for Owen. Couldn't take it cleanly. Off the pass to his left flank. Winkle pulls it off the wall. Hit Albers with the pass, and his shot goes careening high. Owen retrieves from the half wing. Twisted it back. Winkle open for a shot. Wanted to go short side. Mayville saw it the whole way. He had it detected. Ross shoots off the goalpost. Back to Owen. Save made by Mayville. So the Pioneers are starting to pepper the net with this all-senior power play unit. Ross, Owen, again shooting, this time low, kicked out by Mayville. Oliver Owens at it again. Double O goes behind the net, centering for a chance by Albers, and he missed the net. 1:13 remaining on the second power play of the evening for East Grand Rapids. And it's cleared beyond the reach of Owen as it bounced just over his stick on the kick plate. 1 minute left on the power play. Under 3 remaining in the first. Ross galloping through center. Wrist shot blocked to the near side by D'Angelo. Caden Goosens across to Ross. Back to Goosens, fresh on the ice. Ross cradles, rifles, blocked. Back out to center. Blaskovic doesn't have a lot in his legs to go after it for St. Ed, so Ross directing traffic. Asks for Goosens to go to the far side, and he does. Ross obliges with a pass. Headman to Bjornsson, coming into his own. As a junior this season, Bjornsson couldn't take that feed, but Stropke's there as a stopgap at the blue line. Goosens squares up. Couldn't get the pass through the defense of Colin Libby, but Libby couldn't clear. Great battle there with Bjornsson. It's off to Caden Goosens. His feed for Stropke, away from his reach on his backhand. Stropke takes it back and feeds it over to Bjornsson. Looks up, snaps it across. Power plays over. Shot toward the net by Goosens off the blocker of Mayville to the near side wall. We return to 5-on-5. Stropke floats the shot. Punched out by Mayville. Right to the front. Jake Goosens' backhand. Hit the outside of the goal, I believe. Goosens got it back. Action picking up down to our left. Stropke as the Pioneers keep the pressure on post-power play. But plucked out of traffic by Carter Smith, and he wings it down the ice. Icing call with 90 seconds to go in the first. Catch your breath. A solid sequence of offensive chances, shots, and retrievals by the Pioneers. Shoot it and go get it. And they repeated it many times. Albers at the faceoff dot, the right-handed centerman won it cleanly, too cleanly, right between his two defensemen. Porter Brooks first to touch for East. After the draw control, Ross chipped it by, a swooping winger for St. Ed. That was McDermott. And Ross went back and took the number. Didn't like the little swipe that McDermott made at him. So keep that in mind as we play along. Ross lifts the stick of his mark on the far boards, but taken back by Scanlon. He centers it, looking for McDermott, but deflected away from him. Albers doing the defensive work. 54 seconds remaining in the period. Watch out. Ross went right in front of his own net, and he slipped it right by Scanlon, who seemed shocked that Ross was coming right at him in that spot. Ross keeps it going, and he flung it toward the net. It deflects off the end boards. Oliver Owen turns it back against the grain. From the far side boards, it horseshoes around for Brinker. He banged it in deep, at Merriweather's on it. And to center ice for Brinker. Backpedaling, giving to Stropke. Looks up. He's got some options. Hits Winkle with it, who deflects it forward. Right back over to the Eagles. And Sesko. D to Merriweather. Long lead pass, deflected by the Pioneers. Stropke does a little shimmy and a shake in the corner, trying to fake out his man. 14 seconds to go in the period. One last offensive chance, perhaps, for the Eagles. Gray bunted it down the wall, swung out of danger by Stropke all the way down. 4 seconds to go in the period. Looks like that's going to be it as Smith skates it up the near wing as the buzzer sounds, ending the first period. From the Feldman Rink at the Kennedy Recreation Center in Trenton. No goals on the board, but an entertaining first period. Both teams emptying the tank in their second and final games of the weekend. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Hockey live stream. Stay with us on YouTube. Live from Trenton in the Kennedy Recreation Center, I'm Matt Gajtka on about my 8th cup of coffee for the day. I still got to drive back to Grand Rapids tonight. Looking forward to pulling it in around 11 o'clock. It's looking like, as long as we don't get any more that nasty freezing rain that I encountered yesterday on the drive down. I'll take snow, just none of that stuff. In all seriousness, pretty scary scene in mid-Michigan, I suppose you could say. Lansing to Jackson. Last night, got through slowly but surely. Called the Catholic Central game this morning. Grand Rapids Catholic Central falling 4-3 to the M1 Unified Griffins over on the Cougar Puck radio channel. CC led 3-0, but the Griffins scored 4 in a row. Pretty impressive performance from Charlie Price, their captain. The Griffins a solid outfit this year. First time seeing them. The Pioneers in gold, the St. Edward Eagles in green with gold. Looking a lot like the Green Bay Packers, that type of a motif. East with their alternate jerseys, and they'll be attacking the goal down to our right. There's the face-off as we start the second period 5-on-5. I'm not used to having a shot counter, but we do have it for this game. 18 shots for East in the first period, 11 for St. Ed. Centering play, and it goes right under the stick of Wright and slides on the fresh ice all the way back out to center. Winding it up. Good skating by Carter Smith. I love when these guys restart after the intermission. You can tell they get some of the jump in their legs back. Smith was wheeling through the neutral zone like Connor McDavid there. Gossen's lead pass off of Bjornsson's blade, up into the air, and Smith retrieves, and he bangs it down the far side. Brinker to open space. Owen backtracks, takes it, hits Winkle, the late man coming up the middle of the ice, and Winkle run off the puck by D'Angelo. 2 Leos on this St. Ed team, Leo D'Angelo and Leo Smith. The puck skipped out of play over the glass on the far wing side. Both goalies had a solid period, obviously. I would say Hunter Mayville had more work, and he delivered for St. Ed. He is way out of his crease for this faceoff. I've not seen a goalie that far out for the drop of the puck in his own end before this year. Stropke pivots, turns, hits Owen with the pass. Loose puck through center, poked through bodies by Ross, onto the blade of Owen. Shooting off the glove of Mayville, and it hops over the goal. First somewhat shaky moment for Mayville in the game, and a penalty. One against East this time, I think. Oliver Owen has a mild protest. I think he's headed to the box. 15:40 showing on the second period clock. Tripping the call against Owen. East had 2 power plays in the first. They couldn't convert. Now St. Ed gets a second kick at the can. Just like in the first period, they get it early in the second. Leo Smith tying up against Winkle, the ace face-off. Taker for East Grand Rapids, and Winkle spun it right back to his goalie Finch. We'll do it again 3 seconds later. East had their 4-game win streak cut down yesterday by the 19-1-1 Heartland Eagles. Heartland's an impressive outfit. They're going to have a tough time if they make it all the way, and they're going to have to battle it out with Detroit Catholic Central, who just lost their first game of the year last week. D1 is loaded. Smith bursting in, and he put it over the net. I don't know if Gossen's got a stick on that or not. The puck just jumped off of Smith's blade. He is a dynamic mover out there, though, and he gets the puck again, put right into his wheelhouse. On the drop by Scanlon, Smith swerves over the blue. Sauces it across, gets it back from Smith. The other Smith shooting, and a save made by Finch as it's poked away to the near side boards. Gossen's got it beyond the reach of Carter Smith. So we have Carter Smith and we have Leo Smith. Leo takes the puck behind his net, trying to emerge out from the corner. Alber's harassing him, and it's back for Merriweather to try to calm things down for St. Ed. Lead pass off the stick of Wright through to center. 51 seconds remaining on the Oliver Owen tripping minor. We're still hunting goal number 1 in this game. 20 shots on goal for East Grand Rapids now. Poked free, but held in by Eisnagel. Head up, snaps the pass to Merriweather. He whacks it down the wood. Cradled by Blaskovic. Peels to the outside. Hits Eisnagel. Merriweather, the towering D-man. To the middle, a deflection. Saved by Finch. On the chance in the slot by George Blaskovic. And Finch tracked the high tip to perfection. 16 seconds remaining on the power play, and Finch's finest save of the evening. If you like action at the net, you like this game so far. Already 33 combined shots on net. That's higher than the typical rate for a usual Michigan high school hockey game. Deflected, save by Finch. He stretched out to deny Andrew Farron this time. 2 outstanding saves, 6 seconds apart for Charlie. As he taps both posts. Keeping the good feeling going. 11 seconds to go, and then we're back to 5-on-5, and the face-off needs to be redone. St. Ed centerman kicked out. The mysterious number 10. No note for 10 on my roster for St. Ed, so hope he doesn't score. Anyway, flicked away by Gosens, high off the window. Caden Gosens on his backhand, flushes it out. Bjornsson joins the fray. He replaces Owen, who came out of the penalty box. We're back to even strength. Farron tried to shoot. Instead, it drops on back for a drive by McDermott that flutters into Finch's trapper. 13:26 left in the second period. Since the holiday break, East Grand Rapids 5 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. The tie was right after the break, 0-0 against Grand Rapids Christian. East could see Christian again in the regional round, a regional tournament, I should say. Could have another EGR versus Big Rapids regional matchup as well. It could shape up where we see Catholic Central against Christian in the first round. Centered, Nolan Brooks, can he control? He's got to backpedal it out. And his pass to the point was deflected by Eisnagel. All the way down it goes. Stropke on it first. Good competitive hockey game tonight. Like I said, these teams know a lot of folks come out to these games, along with the usual friends and family and fans. Plenty of scouts for the next levels of play, junior and college. Lead feed Bjornsson. Couldn't take it cleanly. Kotsanis circles his goal. Backhand up the near wall. Kept in there by the staunch Bjornsson on the forecheck. Whacked off the boards by St. Ed and back into the possession of East Grand Rapids. Rowan sends it deep. Just past 7 o'clock on a Saturday night in Metro Detroit. Trenton, southern suburb in the downriver region. Coming out of his own end, Leo Smith, and he drew 2 defenders and passed it to the open man, Sesko. He pitchforks it behind the East Grand Rapids goal. Retrieving Woody Wright. His backhand to the point. D'Angelo's shot blocked in front. That was off the hand, in fact, of Caden Gosens, who shakes it in discomfort. Brinker just barely gets it out over the blue, and it's on to Jake Gosens. Trevor Bird soars into the attacking end. Doesn't have much left, so he'll chip and chase and head back on defense as McDermott turns it the other way. McDermott against Brinker. Trying to drag it back into the corner. Battle in the trenches behind the goal. Stropke, can he get it out? He will. Feed it on to Albers. Deflected away from him, but Stropke swoops to it. Taps it over to Ross. Poked it right by Smith at center ice. Ross is away. Ross shot. Save Mayville. And he swats the rebound away. Otherwise, it was laying right there. Owen gloves down the clear. And he snapped the wobbler over the crossbar. Stropke, deflected pass. Ross barely keeps it in. A stick is in his way. One of the Eagles dropped it. Whitaker Hill steps to. And he put it in the path of Ross. Ross trying to strip his man of the puck, D'Angelo, and did. Ross working hard. So is Albers. These guys are insatiable in the offensive zone. Albers, Hill, shooting, save, Mayville. And he absorbs it with 10:38 to go in the second. 22 shots on goal for East Grand Rapids, 16 for St. Edward. This is the gold team for St. Edward. They have a gold and a green varsity setup. This team is 18-8-1 on the season. We've got corresponding minor penalties issued. Owen for East and Drew Bell for St. Ed. That will not affect the play on the ice. We'll stay 5-on-5. Winkle at the dot against Blaskovic. And Winkle whacks it between his legs over to Hill. Bjornsson throwing it toward the front, and Winkle wanted to pull it on the reverse toe drag back into his body, but it didn't work. That was Libby rather, behind the net. Turned it over. Hill went down, put his stick right along the ice to break up that pass. Bjornsson picks out a corner and chips it into it. Heading in after it, crunching Merriweather, but Merriweather rolls off the hit. And the Eagles send it through to neutral territory. Bjornsson whacked on the way, but he took the hit to make the play. Found Winkle, who curls back, delays, and hits Brinker. Tees up a shot. That was rejected out high by Libby. And the Eagles bench bangs their sticks off the boards in appreciation. Brinker sets sail, turns up ice. This pass for Brooks, clanged off his stick. And back down into East Real Estate, icing against St. Ed. 9:37 remaining. We've got one game left on the day and in the entire showcase for that matter. Well, one game left on this rink. 8 o'clock scheduled start for Toledo St. Francis against what some may consider the Division III favorite, Orchard Lake St. Mary. At least on the east side of the state, that's what they're saying. That the Eaglets are back at it again. Bird sends one right over the top. Gosens, of course, East beat Orchard Lake St. Mary in the quarterfinal round last year to advance to Plymouth for the second consecutive season. And that puck shot out of play by Caden Gosens. I was alerted to the fact that I was saying Gosens wrong in the intermission. It's only been 30 games or so before someone had the heart to tell me. We got there eventually. I have a strangely spelled last name, so I am sensitive to that, especially more so than maybe most broadcasters are. So I apologize to both Gosenses. Another icing against St. Ed. That's how it works when you have minor penalties, coincidental, both players in the box, but not affecting the manpower for either side. It's 5-on-5. You have to wait until the first stoppage after your penalty expires. So you can't just sprint out of the box. I know some folks are curious about the whole protocol with that sort of thing. I know I was when I first started watching the game. Jake Gosens took D'Angelo's legs out, but inadvertently, and ruled not to be to the level of a penalty. And the Pioneers are grateful for that as they'll stay at full strength. 8:50 to go in the second period. Rowan has Stropke's pass go under his stick. Stropke picks it off in front. Pardon me, that's Brinker. 6, not 5. Ethan Brinker whipped it across the ice. Bird waiting, and instead he'll head off for a line change as Jake Gosens pulled the chute. He said that was enough for that shift. Always better to change too early than too late. This is a game best played at full strength or close to it. Ross chipped it near wing. Brooks dropped it back, but intercepted by Farron. And following on right on the overlap. Poked off his stick, though, and back to Merriweather. Snapped across by Kotsanis. And a shot from the corner by Scanlon, gobbled up by Finch. Nothing from that with 8:03 remaining in the period. Owen comes out of the box, and the Pioneers can throw the Winkle, Bjornsson, Owen trio out there. I was watching earlier action between Forest Hill Central and Brighton. Curious to see how that one turned out. Didn't catch the final. Byron Center is currently playing against Warren De La Salle on Tiefer Arena. Rister from the point by Merriweather, fought off by Finch. Owen looks to force it down the wall, not going to work. So Stropke goes back to Owen on the re-rack, and here come the Pioneers. Winkle lead delivery. Bjornsson catches up to it in the corner. He locks horns with Kenny Sesko. They tussle with 7.5 to go in the period. And emerging with it, the Eagles. And cleared over the shoulder of Farron. Down the ice it goes. No icing. Brinker's got to make a play. And he will beyond Farron. Kept in though. Ripped toward the net. Thud off the pad of Charlie Finch. Bjornsson rifles it through center ice. Gloved out to center again by the Eagles. Wristed in by Caden Gosens. St. Ed catching up in the shots on goal category. It's now 23-19. That won't count as it's right over the head of Finch, who let it go. Wanted to see if his Pioneers could break it out, but now he has to make a save on the flick toward his net. Loose puck, Eisnagel fighting for it, gets it, shoots it. It might have hit the toe of the pad of Finch, and it stays out. Blaskovic and Eisnagel both hacking away, and Eisnagel got the shot off after winning the puck battle. D'Angelo cradles and rips the shot off the skate of Hill. Getting it back, D'Angelo, and he fed it right through the top of the crease. Trevor Bird, he couldn't get enough on that pass, couldn't lift it enough to get it to Jake Gosens. Back to the corner, reversed. Stropke to Bird. And the freshman Trevor Bird, 4 goals on the year, chips in deep and he heads off again. Leo Smith cruising in over the blue line, now behind the net, behind the back pass. Right. Picked up what he was putting down but couldn't get the shot off. Now a drive by Carter Smith from the point. That was partially blocked to the corner and poked through to center. 2-on-1 for East Grand Rapids. Albers with Brooks. Albers scores! He shot it off his back foot and buried it for a 1-0 Pioneers lead. 5:46 to go in the second. And East has the breakthrough. Reach for the sky. James Albers cashes in his team-leading 16th of the season. And it was all about timing. As he had Brooks with him, might have given him a quick look, but he snapped it before Mayville could even get set for the shot. It's not always about placement. Sometimes it's about rhythm when it comes to that sort of thing. And Albers knows that. EGR on the board. And sometimes on a 2-on-1, the best move is to shoot it yourself. And Brooks helped make that play, of course, by hustling through the neutral zone to give Albers an option. That makes the goalie think as well. And the shot was into the bottom right corner. Icing against St. Ed, so the Nears can play from in front. Albers is 16th of the season, 35th of his career. That ties him with Owen for the career lead among active players. Owen's shot that time was blocked. Hard hit at center by Winkle and a hand pass called, and Winkle takes a shove after the play from the mysterious number 10 on St. Ed. Referees looking to both benches to make sure that everyone's got their changes. Stay 5-on-5. There was a minor dust up there after the big hit at center, just after the whistle. Kasanis can't clear. Owen's right there in his kitchen. Owen pulls it up the boards. Left it there. Brinker walks the line, makes the pass to Winkle. Deeks and shoots. And that's off the arm of Mayville and up into the screen. Just under 5 to go in the second. The Rowan line out over the boards for Coach Newton. Eagles control the draw. Kasanis doubles back, and his clear hit a partition on the glass. Nearly caused some trouble for St. Ed. So on their 24th, making it 23rd shot, East Grand Rapids finally puts one behind Hunter Mayville. It's been quite good in this game for the Eagles. Hill breaking back on a 3-on-2. Hill decided to shoot. He had Bird and Gosens. They were plenty wide, maybe a little too wide on that rush. You want space, but it's always a balance between puck support and proper spacing. Whoa, look out, Whitaker Hill sent it up into the screen. Just dawned on me for a moment that we could easily get a souvenir up here. Duck and cover the electronics. The folks next to us, we've got boxes to our right and left, some reserved for fans who are patronizing, shall we say. Sully's Bar and Grill behind us here at the Kennedy Recreation Center. And some of those boxes reserved for scouts, a more serious atmosphere there. And some parents who think they're scouts. Face-off won by East Grand Rapids. Caden Gosens. Brinker to Brooks, and his backhand softly to center. Back to Brinker. Gosens to Albers in flight. Albers takes a hip check. He went high, and Carter Smith went low. Smith is just a tough customer. Trying to get to the outside against him is going to be difficult. Albers holds it with help from Gosens, but his pass clicks across off a stick. Leo Smith heads back up ice. He's dispossessed at the blue line. Albers curls. He's got a couple of options ahead. Hooks up with Ross, dropped it off. Nolan Brooks, Ross waiting, firing, deflected from the high slot. D'Angelo got a stick in the way. You could feel the anticipation building. Ross has been shooting it. He's been shooting the lights out the last couple of games. This time, Stropke wheels it on net right into the chest of Hunter Mayville, and he keeps with 3:13 to go in the second. Yeah, there's a couple of guys on this team that when they get open can just sense folks scooting toward the edges of their seats. Ross is one of them. 2 goals last night, 2 snipes, to hear it from Coach Chris Newton. Albers certainly another one. Owen. Guys who just shoot the puck beautifully. At this level, you hardly see better shooters than those 3. Big reason why East offense has been so dynamic again this year. No icing. The puck was deflected. Whithill reverses it. Up the far wing. Owen eludes a couple of defenders. Sends it up ahead to Winkle. He lassos the puck. Doesn't give to Hill. Instead, speeds it to the corner. Now back out to Hill on the bank play from Bjornsson. Far side, Stropke. 2:38 remaining in the second. East on the board on a James Albers goal a couple of minutes ago. Owen extracts it, fires it. Saved by Mayville. He looked behind him, but it was somewhere between his arm and his body on the glove side. 2:29 remaining in the second period. Coming to you high above the Feldman rink. Well, we're right on top of the penalty boxes. As far as vantage points go, it reminds me of actually up in Gaylord at the D3 Challenge. If anyone watching has ever been up there. The Otsego County Sportsplex. Gosens rifles it through the top of the crease. Brinker knocks it down the wall. Good feed. Albers pulls up, fires, and he missed the net on the setup from Brooks. Boy, that was a heck of a pass from Brooks. The one touch. Gosens. Oh, he has the puck jump over his stick. It's rolling on edge now. Trying to control it. Uses the boards to help him there. It's off the kick plate to Stropke, or pardon, Brinker rather. Albers takes the quick bump from Brooks. Pulling up, hitting Brooks, he's open, he shoots! Great save, Melville! And he hangs on somehow as he telescoped out and almost smothered that shot. Great chance for Nolan Brooks, but Mayville right on top of it. "28 shots for East, 27 saves for Hunter Mayville, senior goalie for St. Ed. And of course, at the other end, freshman netminder Charlie Finch, 22 for 22. Both goalies have brought their best. Hill down the wall with a passing play. Winkle left it. Owen wants to come out from behind. Instead, he'll give to Hill. Fake the shot. Fed it across. Dropkey, the shot on goal. Save made. It's loose in the crease. And a penalty coming up. Owen was whacking away on one knee. And the call going against St. Ed. That's what I thought. Cross-checking against Woody Wright. That might have saved a goal, to be honest. Or at least it saved a goal for now, because East is going to the power play for the third time, for the first time in this period. Already with 30 shots on net. Battle of attrition, just trying to wear down Mayville and the Eagles. Owen, and right into the breadbasket of Mayville again. It's a high volume kind of night for the East attack. But not a high yield as of yet. Just a one-goal game as we get close to the end of the second period. Winkle ties it up. The Pioneers control. Albers couldn't put it through the body of Carter Smith. Back to Albers, and a whip wrist shot that missed. Great play at the far boards by Owen to keep it in. Owen drops it back. Winkle, inside pass to Brooks, and he just stubbed it wide of the post. D'Angelo couldn't clear. The Pioneers got a stick in the way. 50 seconds to go in the period. Albers couldn't receive it as the ice is getting choppy at the end of the frame. You got to really bear down on that bottom hand. Owen, head and shoulders fake. Exchanging with Ross. Albers can't one-time it from that side as a right-handed shot. Ross, Owen, and Winkle, bottom edge of the circle. Curling out. Albers lines one up, gloved and held by Mayville. When he sees it, he's probably going to stop it. 26 seconds left in the period. And the power play unit looks like we'll stay out there for East. They were hearing some sort of instruction where Ross and Albers maybe asking for some traffic in front. It's going to be what it takes to distract Mayville, who's on his game tonight. Who's going to win the battle? Winkle will, and he drifted it just wide by a couple of inches. Off the corner boards, 18 seconds. One last offensive possession for East, perhaps. Brooks, poke checked at the blue line. Ross back in his own end, just doesn't want to make a mistake. Shot it off the glove of Scanlon on the attempted pass through center, and punched in deep by the Eagles. That'll do it for the second period. 33 seconds of power play time left on the board. That's how the Pioneers will start the third period, up by 1 on James Albers' goal with 5:45 to go in the second. They're having to scrap and claw for every offensive chance to try to get another one behind the St. Ed's goalie, Hunter Mayville. The goaltending duel continues between the senior Mayville and the freshman, Charlie Finch. Just one on the board through 34 minutes. Time for some fresh ice. And when we come back, hopefully a fresh broadcaster as well. I'm Matt Gajtka. You're watching the East Hockey Live Stream. Third period, and we've solved the great mystery, by the way. St. Ed number 10 is Vinny Willock. I had him as number 9. Okay. There we go. Must have been a typo on the initial roster. Pioneers start the third with a power play. Albers smashed into the wall by Carter Smith. Around the boards it comes. There's Oliver Owen to save the day and keep the puck in the attacking zone. 13 seconds left on the power play. Owen sends it over the bar as he loaded up the wrist shot. Off the glass it goes and down. The power play is over, and East maintains a 1-0 lead. Ross with a lot of speed, and he rips the shot that was deflected off the glass. Carter Smith got in the way of that and cleared again, this time by George Blaskovic. All the way down 200 feet, and oh my, too many men on the ice. Called against East Grand Rapids. Whoever stepped on the ice and touched the puck, I think that was Bird. Apparently, whoever was being replaced was not off the ice yet. And you do get a buffer zone there. You get a couple of feet near the bench. Albers is saying that the change was good. So is Chris Newton. He's also saying a similar thing. And we are right over the benches, so we can see and hear a lot of this. I wish I could just drop the microphone down. Got a great view of it all. This is perfect. Never had a bench view like this. It is going to be too many men. A bench minor against East, so St. Ed gets a chance to tie it up. Third power play for the Eagles. Bird serves the penalty. And East controls the draw. Behind the net, Caden Gosens. Couldn't get it out. Held by Blaskovic. Turns, sends it toward the net. And Finch, playing defenseman, whacks it away with the big paddle on his goal stick. Brinker picks off the pass. Brinker can't clear at the blue line, but following on is Winkle, penalty killer extraordinaire, and he drives it all the way behind the St. Ed's goal. 1.5 minutes into the third period. I was looking at the schedule so far for East Grand Rapids and the results, and one thing they haven't done is win in regulation in a low-scoring game, as in it took 2 or fewer goals to win. Cleared by Caden Gosens, and the line change for East Grand Rapids obediently. The goaltender, Hunter Mayville, passed it up the far wall. Right, cranked it forward. Blaskovic navigating his way, couldn't get all the way through. Winkle blocked the dump in. Hill shot it off his own man, Owen. Look out, Owen's got to get back for it. Instead, Winkle recovers and takes control of the puck and drives at the length. 45 seconds to go on the too many men on the ice penalty against East Grand Rapids. Trying to make it a 1-1 weekend down here in Trenton. Poked by Hill, beyond the reach of Smith. Scanlon follows up. Finesses it deep to Gray. Scoops it back to the point. Smith, bouncing pass, turned toward the net by Libby, but it was blocked and cleared. Good bounce for East off the boards. Just a quarter minute to go before Bird comes out of the box. Dropped off by Leo Smith to Carter Smith. Driving it wide. Smith a shot, but smothered by Finch. Down on one knee. And the Pioneers once again speed it out to center. Soft pass toward the middle. Nearly taken by Bjornsson off the bench. Power play is over. Pioneers kill it off. They're 3 for 3 on the PK. Nolan Brooks, can he catch up to it? Mayville out of his net to swing it away behind the goal. Always the safest place to put it if you can. Just not too hard behind the net. Lest it bounce off the end wall. Charging forward, Libby shot off the glove of Finch, and it's loose. Winkle can't get it out. Kept in at the blue line, but shot wide by Sesko. Cross corner. Farron. He released it behind the net. The Pioneers' Winkle couldn't slalom his way out. Farron pressuring for St. Ed. And Brooks forces it out to center. Brinker 1-on-4. Buys some time with a shoot-in as his teammates change behind the play. Albers, Owen, and Ross on the ice. Big guns out there for East Grand Rapids. Stropke, D-to-D pass to Brinker. Rare to see those two out there together in recent games. Stropke to Brinker. Up ahead down the wing. Strong side, it's Albers. Tried the toe drag, but Sesko interrupted it. To the Pioneers line. Hill, pull-up move. Redirected between his own legs by Owen and Ross. He tried a toe drag, and again, not going to work on that side of the ice apparently on this shift. Broken up and cleared by the Eagles. East does have a 2-1 win. Neutral site game technically at Patterson against Houghton, but that was in a shootout. In regulation, they do not have a victory when scoring fewer than 3 goals this year. They beat Sault Ste. Marie 3-2 up in Marquette. That was in December, just after the West Michigan Showcase, just prior to the Christmas holiday break. So maybe it's going to get some practice, some low-scoring, tight games. You might have to win 1 or 2 of these if you want to get to where you want to go in the end, which is back east next month. Kellen Eisnagel left it to his defenseman Schramko. Schramko has it drift away from him, but he recovers. Right in front of us, Rowan rammed him. Bird poked it deep. 11:25 to go in the third period. East still on top, 1-0. Albers, the only goal of this game to this point. Jake Gosens with some space. Snapped it right on net. Patted out by Mayville. Brooks out of the corner. Winkle. Centering, looking for Nolan Brooks, and his stick was lifted at the last second. Winkle regathers. And the Pioneers reboot the attack. Bjornsson to the near corner. Forces Schramko to get rid of it quickly. Onto the tape of Merriweather. Long lead pass, deflected away from Libby. Through center comes Albers. Couldn't get around the diving Carter Smith. And hand pass called as Smith pushed it with his glove, apparently, up through to center and to a teammate. That's not allowed out of your defensive zone into the neutral zone. Can advance the puck, shall we say, in that case. 10:34 remaining in the third after the infraction whistled against St. Ed. We've got St. Ed, St. Ignatius. Saints come marching in to the MIHL showcase. Pivoting back with it, Whitaker Hill. Up the far side wall. And down it goes, icing against St. Ed from Cleveland, Ohio, or the suburb of Lakewood to be specific. Yeah, 3 straight games here on the Feldman Arena ice. St. Ignatius the previous game, St. Edward in this game, St. Francis coming up next against Orchard Lake St. Mary. I'd stay and watch, but I got to get back across the state at a semi-reasonable hour, like many of the East fans here in the building. I don't know if I'd rather play in the afternoon or evening here or in the morning like Catholic Central did. Tough early wake-up call for the players especially, but they do get home after all that. Turn toward the net. Glove by Finch, and he elects to hold, even though there weren't many Eagles in his vicinity. Scanlon's shot right at the 2-0 on his chest. Can't be understated the job that Finch has done this year. He's got 2 senior backups, but neither of which played much hockey in their lives coming into this season. Front of the net, set up off the face-off win. That was a set play. Smith went right to the goal, and the pass came from Carter Smith. But Leo Smith just didn't have enough space at the last second. He was thwarted. Turn back in, right. Guided it right through the low slot, nobody home for the Eagles. Under 10 to go in regulation. Woody Wright pulls it off the wall, and his shot was blocked out of play by Caden Gosens. Other late games coming up. Cap City hosts Lakeland, and Brother Rice against Howell. 7 games on each of 3 rinks today, just like the schedule was yesterday. And we had 8 total games across 3 rinks on Thursday. So 50 total games this weekend in the MIHL Showcase. Brooks, hard-charging play, and then he's smashed after he touched the puck by Kenny Sesko. Ricochets over to the far boards. Nolan Brooks, can he keep it alive? He will. Hill dumps it across. Stropke tried to funnel it toward the front, didn't work. Behind the goal, Albers surrounds it, but touched off his stick to Kenny Sesko. Stropke touched it along and wristed it. That was blocked by Libby. Brooks yanks it back behind the net. Brooks looking out in front, but it smacked off his blade. Stropke takes it back for East Grand Rapids. Shot by Hill off the glove of Mayville. And it's guided along by St. Ed to the near boards. Halfway through the third period, we remain at 1-0 East Grand Rapids. The high flip, it went through the rafters. It did not touch the rafters, though, so technically in play. Follow it if you can. Hill just over the red line, I think. Yep, no icing called here. The goaltender's back to take it, and Mayville hands it over to Owen, but his firm pass out to the point doesn't connect as Gosens was still coming off the bench and getting up into the play. Pulled off the wall behind the goal by McDermott for St. Ed. He can't make it happen. Lost his stick as well as Gosens ripped it away. Gosens turned it over there in the middle. Willick a shot, and he missed the net. And he backhands toward the front again. Finch handles it. No problem. 7:36 remaining in the third. "35 shots for East Grand Rapids. They had 33 through 2, so just 2 in the opening, what would that be, almost 9 minutes of this period. Meanwhile, St. Ed has 6. So the shot pace has slowed down, actually, for both teams. Merriweather, a drive, and it's blocked in front. I think Stropke got in the way, even though he had his back turned. He was trying to find his check in front of the net, and he did. Hill steers it over. Stropke flicks it ahead. Ross on the turn, reflexes it back to Albers. His pass toward the middle, and Ross overlaps. Brady Ross missed the goal. It hit something in front, not sure what it was. It ended up rattling into the corner. Albers stings it into the attacking zone. There goes Nolan Brooks after the puck. Sent around by the Eagles. Leo Smith. Ross ran into Schramko and forced the turnover. 6:46 left in the third. Hill to Stropke. Stropke sweeps it up the wing. Ross turns it into the middle. Tried to take on a couple of players, couldn't quite get there. 1-on-3 was Ross, and he's got to go to the bench. That's all he's got for that shift. Turned over by the Eagles to Trevor Bird. First shot was blocked. Second shot right on. Stopped by Mayville, and the whistle. 6:24 left. St. Ed lost yesterday 4-2 to Brother Rice in an 8 o'clock game. That game was tied 1-1 early in the second before the Warriors pulled away. Brother Rice, a recent state champion 2 years ago. Famous name in Michigan high school sports. Caden Gosens kept it in. Rister missed into the corner. Brinker sails it below the goal line. Jake Gosens puts his nose over the puck. Cooper Rowan bumps it back to the point. Caden Gosens changes the angle, shot it off a skate. And ripped out of the zone by Andrew Gray of St. Ed. Under 6 to go in the third. We're coming down the stretch at the Kennedy Recreation Center in the MIHL Showcase. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is your East Hockey live stream. Thank you for joining us this evening for more East Hockey. Taking it on the road in Southeast Michigan. Hill rammed it ahead on the backhand as he got bumped just over the red line. Stropke sets up shop. Lifted the puck. Bjornsson tied up his man. Owen follows to it. Launched it over the head of Andrew Gray. He ropes it around the near wall. It horseshoes over to the point. Hill, Owen, Bjornsson. Back to Owen. Thought about one more pass, but it was blocked. Blaskovic. Dump and chase game. Under 5 to go in the third. Whithill to it. He absorbed a couple of body blows, and Winkle steps up to take the puck. Up to Bjornsson. Lead feed. Would have had Owen for a one-on-one situation, but the pass was a little bit too far. Owen delivers the puck through center. That was absorbed by Sesko, but his headman pass too far for Owen Scanlon, and that'll bring the faceoff back on the icing violation. Exactly 4:30 left. "37 shots for East, 29 for St. Ed. Can East make it 6 wins in 10 games since the holiday break? To the side of the goal, popped over the top of the net. Handled by Willock. Off the window it goes and out. Willock kicks it to his stick. Ross got in the way. Willock's shot goes wildly off the end boards. Rattles off the back of the net. Brooks can't escape on this near side. To the middle of the ice, Farron. Caden Gosens uses the escape valve in the form of Brady Ross, who ducks behind his net just past 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, Detroit Rock City. Here's Ross. Ross to the outside, right to the goal. Scores! That might have put a capper on it. Brady Ross slaloming his way in. This ain't the Olympic Games, it's the MIHL Showcase. 2-0 East Grand Rapids, and he is master of his domain. Ross, 3 goals on the weekend, 14 for the season. The solo effort gets it done, and the Pioneers double their lead dramatically. How about it? The move to the forehand, and I think he slid it between the pillows of Mayville. It's not over yet, but that makes things a lot more comfortable down the stretch, or we'll see about that. For right now, St. Ed goes back to work. Leo Smith giving it to the other Smith, Carter, and his wrists are blocked from the side of the net. Pushed down the boards. That'll be icing against East Grand Rapids. Or no, it won't, pardon me. Waved off. Thought I saw the linesman saying it was icing. He was actually saying it wasn't. He changed his mind at the last second. Hey, it's all fine for the Pioneers. They're protecting a 2-0 lead. Pounced on by St. Ed's Woody Wright. The Eagles trying to avoid getting blanked here in game 2 at the Showcase. Owen. So keep that in mind. They'll be especially tenacious here late. Game still up for grabs, too. Albers coming off the boards. Albers can't quite get to that high in the attacking zone, so Scanlon protects it. And he shifts the puck to the near side to D'Angelo. He slices it ahead into the corner. Brinker retrieves it back for East, but it's turned over. Thrown to the front of the net off the pads of Finch by Sesko. Out through to center. 2-on-1 chance. Brooks with Ross. Ross pulls the trigger. It's blocked. Blocked in the middle. Ross centers, though, on the second effort. And it's poked away from the front of the net. Schramko got the block on the first shot, and he is hurting. That got him in the thigh, I think. He is reaching maybe the inner thigh. That stings especially, obviously. He's still out there. The Pioneers with under 2 minutes to go. They're okay with some puck possession time. Ross finesses it out to Gosens. Brinker centering it. One of the Pioneers is down on his face. There's going to be a penalty coming against the Eagles. Brooks absorbed the punishment. Whacked on net by Albers out of the air. And the Eagles didn't like that very much. And the whistle sounds. 1:37 left in the third. And East is going to get a late power play, up 2-0. And we have players going head-to-head. Albers, literally face-to-face. Albers and Leo D'Angelo. And I guess along with D'Angelo, James Albers is going to go to the box too. Well, someone's got to go to the box. It is going to be the Nears captain. I think that's on top of the initial call. So we have corresponding minors. Two minutes on the board to Carter Smith of St. Ed. East will have a power play after all this, as it should. The other penalties were from the jawing at center ice, and those will cancel. Jake Gosens back to his twin brother, Caden. Caden gets it back from Stropke. 1:30 left in the game. Bjornsson, he clicked the pass across, but it was deflected to center. Gray is going to be charging ahead, and so are the rest of the Eagles. They're going to take some chances. Harassing Stropke from behind, forced the turnover. Smith darts through center. Leo Smith with 1:10 left in the third. Runoff on a strong check by Cooper Rowan. Solid team defense. Two converged on Smith. Caden Gosens, the pull-up and over the blue line. Under a minute to go in the third. The Pioneers less than 60 seconds away from win number 15 on the season. Stropke with Hill joining the fray from the bench. Bjornsson assesses his options, scans the interior. Nope, he's going to keep it on the outside. 43 seconds remaining in the third. Hill, rink wide to Bjornsson. Returns the favor to Whithill. This is all just fine for East. Stropke shot, and it was an accidental save by Mayville. He didn't even see that coming. It hit him right in the pad as it drifted through traffic off the stick of Owen Stropke, looking for his third goal of the year and third of his career. That's the 40th shot for East, 31 for St. Ed. It's been an offensively oriented game despite the low score, honestly. Just 2-0, 10 seconds to go. And the Pioneers play keep away, down to 5. Down to 2, Stropke gives it up. East Grand Rapids, for the first time this year, wins a game scoring fewer than 3 goals in regulation. 2-0, the final. Charlie Finch gets his 4th shutout of his freshman season, his 15th victory. He was rock solid. East Grand Rapids got goals from James Albers in the second and Brady Ross. Individual effort late in the third to cash in a 2-0 win to finish their MIHL showcase trip down here to Trenton with a 1-1 record. East is 15-4-1 as they prepare for the OK Conference Tournament. They'll play Jenison in the first round Tuesday night, 6:30 at Griff's Georgetown. That'll be coming up on the East Hockey live stream. Meanwhile, St. Edward, pretty brilliant battle for them. They were tenacious all night long, just couldn't get a puck behind Charlie Finch. Their goalie, Hunter Mayville, certainly deserves one of the 3 stars of the night if we're handing those out, but they lose their 9th game of the season. They're 18-9-1. The 7th-ranked team in Ohio skates back to Cleveland, 0-2 on the weekend here in Trenton. So like I said, we'll talk to you in just 3 days' time. Looking forward to the first ever OK Conference Tournament as the top 4 teams in each of the 2 OK divisions will play for the Ron Baum Trophy at the end of the week. Every team guaranteed 3 games, win or loss, and we'll be with you every step of the way on the East Hockey live stream. Thanks again to all of you for watching. First trip here to Trenton to cover the Pioneers, and they get the big dub, getting back on the winning track. And now, since the holiday break, they are 6-2 We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your weekend, and travel safely if you are driving back to the west side. West side is best side, at least tonight, from Feldman. We'll see you on Tuesday from Griff's Georgetown.